Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Today we're going to do some parallel lines and angle type practice and notes. So make sure you get everything down that we're getting down. Here you'll get a grade on this, so keep up. So let's start down here. Okay, I want to draw a picture and just talk in general terms. Okay, so I'm going to draw a couple of parallel lines. I'm going to mark them as parallel. I'm going to put a transversal that cuts across. Okay, and then I'm just going to make up some numbers. I'm going to call that 40. That's a nice simple number to work with. So I should notice that if this is 40, there's a couple things. 40, then this has to be 140. And the reason that has to be 140 is because these two are a linear pair. They add up to 180. Okay, so kind of the other thing, or the next thing you may notice, is that this angle and this angle are a linear pair. So sorry, a linear pair, excuse me, vertical angles. So vertical angles are the same. We've worked with that in the past. We worked with that last chapter. And I just said like this angle and this angle, and that's not specific enough for me. That can be a little confusing. So let's give this some order. All right, let's label some things. So I'm gonna call this angle 1. This is angle 2. I'm just gonna circle them just to differentiate them from the degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you probably won't see them circled on the worksheet like here. You just see them labeled like that, but just to help us differentiate, because it can get a little bit murky, and those would have degrees. That would help us differentiate as well. But I don't want you to get too bogged down in that. I want you to worry more about the content. So now, another way to get number 1, we can realize 1 and 4 are vertical, so they'd be the same. And we should notice that 1 and 2 are a linear pair, so they should add up to 180. So either way, you get 140 there. Okay? Now, kind of the next step in the process, and I'll give you something here. Same side interior angles. Same side interior. I call them SSI for short. Okay, SSI are supplementary. And what supplementary means is they are 180 degrees. So if this is 40, 5 is going to be 140 degrees. Okay, so now we've got the same kind of thing we had here. If 5 is 140, 8 is vertical. So that's 140. 6 is supplementary, because those are a linear pair. And then 7 is vertical to 6. You can think of it that way, or it's supplementary with 8, because they're a linear pair. So now we have all the angles measured. Okay? So let's kind of revisit, because we did this before the test, some of our angle types. Okay, let's just start listing alternate interior and vertical, corresponding, alternate exterior, linear pair, and same side interior. Okay, alternate exterior angles. So an example of that would be 1 and 8 or 2 and 7. So I'll say angle 1 comma angle 8. An example. And what do I notice about those two? Well, they're congruent. Vertical angles. Example of vertical angles. 3 and 2, 7 and 6, 5 and 8, 1 and 4. Angle 3, angle 2. And if you notice, each pair of verticals are congruent. Corresponding. Okay, corresponding is one interior, one exterior on the same side. Okay, so 40 and 40, that is congruent. I'm going to say angle 3 comma angle 7. Alternate exterior. Oops, looks like I switched alternate interior and alternate exterior. So this would be alternate EXT, and this will be alternate INT. Okay, so my bad on me. Simple change we can make. Alternate exterior is 1 and 8. And then alternate interior would be like 4 and 5. And what you notice about that is those are congruent. Okay. Linear pair and same side interior. Linear pair would be like 1 and 2. And same side interior, we already covered, it's like 3 and 5. And both of those are supplementary. Okay, so my apologies on that. That's an easy fix. Sometimes we need to adjust and pick each other up. There's dignity in that. So why don't you guys practice that and make that adjustment and pick me up when I make a mistake. So let's push forward and do some problems. Alright, so the way I like to do these is just kind of the way we did it down here. Just start filling everything in, and then you just do the problems later. So if this is 92 and these two are a linear pair, this one's going to be 88. And if that's 88, then 5 is 88 because those are vertical. Okay. Now, 1 is both an alternate interior and a same side interior with 6. So either way you look at it, these 1 and 6 will add up to 180, and 1 and 2 are the same. So if that's 92, that's 88, that adds up to 180, and those are the same. Okay. Again, alternate interior are going to be the same, so that should be 88, and 1 and 7 should add up to 180, so that works. 1 and 2, that is a vertical angle, and those are linear pairs, so Either those are the same or those add up to 180. You should get the same thing. Okay, sometimes it helps me to spin it, just to get another way to look at it. So if this is 88, that's going to be 88, and those two are going to add to 180, which works. Those add up to 180, those are the same. Same thing over here. If I've got that one, I've got that one. So those should add up to 180. So there's checks and ways of just going through it, and then I'll spin it back to finish it. 9 is 88, 4 should be 88, those should add up to 180, that's 92. Okay, so then it's just a matter of putting in what you know over here. You've done the problem, you've done the heavy lifting. You're just filling in what you know. 1 is 92. 2 is 92. Alright, you can go from there. 8 is 88. 7 is 88. Those are all degrees. Okay, you can fill that in. Alright, let's skip down to some more of this down here. So let's look at this. If 3 is the same as 6, so 3 and 6 are the same. Okay, so what two lines have to be parallel? Well, if we pull away all the excess, got 3 and I've got 6. Now those to me look like, oh, you gotta see the picture. Pull away all the excess. 3 and 6 look like the same thing. They have to be the same thing, given our problem. Two lines that have to be parallel then, because those are alternate, those would be alternate interior, would be J and K. Okay, so that's a quick model on that. Okay. Let's go down here. And again, I'd like to just solve all of them or enough of them where I can be done, and then answer the questions. However, sometimes the questions give you a little insight as to where you should start. So DCB, which is this whole angle right here, should be what? Well, we know it's a parallelogram, so that makes that the same as that parallel to that, and those sides parallel. So if we were going to add to our sketch here, and this is 45, this is DCB, we need to find this whole thing. Well, what do we know about these two? Those are same side interior, so if that's 45, then this is 135. This whole thing is 135. So if this whole thing is 135, then what is 1? Well, 1's 135 minus 40, which is 95. Okay, if 1 is 95, what's 2? Or what's 3? I mean, it really doesn't matter. If we look at these two and we pull away everything else, this is 95. Those are